welcome to the Super R-CADE Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Super R-CADE Show! I forgot to click off the overlay thing and I left the stupid arcade logo on the front of the screen, so it's telling me. Hello everyone, welcome in. Andrew here live from the arcade studio. Not the shop, not my house, actually at work for a change, and doing the arcade show where it should be done. So welcome in to another episode of the Super Arcade Show. I am joined this week not by the lovely Sam. We're giving him a week off, thankfully, and instead I've been graced with the beautiful presence of another one of the arcade staff members, the absolutely fantastic Lewis. Hello, Lewis. Welcome in. How are you, my friend? How are you?
I am not bad. That was way too much praise, more than I deserve. But hello, everybody.
You don't deal with praise well, do you? So
no, that's the one piece of praise I'll take.
Good. Well, just don't say anything bad about yourself again, please. It's getting old, man. It's getting old. Of course, I'm joined by Lewis, but we have a special guest this week, as always. Last week, I just want to give a nice shout out to the lovely Renegade Master for joining us last week on the Super Arcade Show. If you missed that episode, you can catch up with it on our YouTube channel with video and audio. Or if you're one of those people who love podcasts, then check it out on our Spotify channel just by searching the Super Arcade Show as well.
It was a lovely show.
It was a lovely show, and thank you to Jen for joining us. I don't have any mods in chat, actually, Lewis. Are you able to? I don't know. I can do it from here. Give Jen a wee shout out. Go for it. Thankfully, says Sam. Oh, sorry, Sam. And there's the Discord notification. I was wondering when the heck that was going to show up. There we go. You guys playing Genshin? No, I changed it. Mish. Thanks very much. But as always, with the new format of the show, we have a special guest on, and this week we are blessed to be joined by the lovely proprietor of OLL Games in Norwich, the lovely John. Hello, John.
Greetings. Good evening. How are we all?
I'm good. I'm trying to be nice to everyone for a change.
I've never been referred to as the deliverer of blessings, but there we go. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction.
No,
how very kind.
Anytime. So we'll start the show off as we always do every week by checking in on how everyone's doing, because that's the thing that I forgot to add into the show synopsis, but Sam thankfully pointed out last week, so I remember now. So I'm going to start off with John. Let's start off with John this week. John, how are you? How's your week been? What you've been doing? What you've been playing? What you've been up to?
I'm very well. I've been very busy. The OLL Cafe has been back open since July, so I've had like 3 days off in 3 months. As you can tell by my slightly red eyes, my camera doesn't really help that at all either. Today I have been at the cafe for most of the day, and I got home about half an hour before coming on the show here, but I'm all prepared and I've done my research, and I'm all ready to go. But in terms of what else I've been doing, actual things with my life, not a lot really, because obviously all I've done is work. Because obviously we're planning for our big thing that we've got, coming up, which no doubt I'll probably plug a bit later on.
Make sure you do.
Indeed, that's what I'm here for. But in terms of games, I've really only been playing the F1 game recently. And it's all I've had time for, because as anyone who watches OLL or indeed is familiar with me from your pastures, I'm big into my racing games, and the F1 game has just had an update, so it's added a new track in, which has been quite nice. So
Which track?
They've just added Portimao, the Portuguese race, the one that goes up and down a lot, and it's really good.
Nice,
really good.
Nice.
So I've been sitting there with my steering wheel like a real nerd. I've bought gloves now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's getting worse. But seriously, steering wheels, driving games, it makes all the difference. It really does. So
True.
I just want more time to play it. More time.
Don't we all? Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, John. Lewis, how are you, my friend?
I am well. Thank you for asking. I've been catching up on some 3D print work that I needed doing.
Nice.
For a friend. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yours is behind your head, yeah.
So I've been doing that. I've been watching a lot of films and stuff.
Nice.
I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off for the first time. I talked about
Finally.
that on Thursday.
Nice.
But
Finally.
it's one of those films I've been meaning to watch for ages, and then I finally was just like, okay, I'm in a Ferris Bueller mood. So
And
that was
you're-
good.
You've never seen it until now.
It's
Nope.
madness. Absolute madness.
Wow.
It's just one of those films that everybody tells you to watch, and you're like, yeah, it's on my list, and then that list grows. So yeah,
I think Sam's trying to plug something in the chat. So Lewis,
Yes.
what's he speaking about?
Sam's in the chat trying to plug the fact that I run R-CADE's film club.
Yes.
So of course I've been watching films, and tonight we have Michelle's top favorites.
Yes.
And you guys all picked The Fifth Element, so we'll be watching that after the stream.
Great film.
So that'll be really good in our Discord. So thank
Nice.
you very much, Sam, for that. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been doing too much. Been helping my girlfriend get ready for moving house.
No. Okay.
But Andrew, what have you been doing?
Me, I've been breaking my back trying to get this studio sorted. It's still an absolute riot. The sofa is currently covered in about 5 or 6 tubs of just controllers. I've just got. I didn't even. You can't even imagine how many controllers I have. John, you may actually be able to imagine owning a cafe as well. But it's been a slog. I'm also pulling out consoles that I didn't know I had. Apparently, I have somewhere, I don't know, like 6 or 7 PS2s that I didn't know I had, and I don't know if any of them work. So I think I'm just trying to organize everything right now into tubs, and then once it's organized, I can then go through and start testing everything and working through the stuff, and hopefully everything works, and I don't have too much work to do to fix them all again. So. Aside from that, not much. I was playing some Genshin last night on stream. I was going to play God of War, but I just needed something more chill. But then Genshin turned out to be stressful anyway, so whatever. And I've been enjoying the PS5 actually for the last week, which is I managed to get one.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
You enjoy a PS5?
I enjoyed my PS. I actually I platinumed Playroom, Astro's Playroom, because I was like, this is actually really good fun.
That is, to be fair, that is a
really,
fantastic game.
For a free game as well.
Here I was thinking PS5s were a myth, and then now I've learned that they do exist and you can enjoy them.
Yeah, I think.
You can.
Did you? I was surprised. It surprisingly nostalgic. Is
Yes.
Astro. You think, wow, there actually is a hell of a lot of history now for PlayStation.
Yep. Going through the generations.
The entire
yeah.
game is. I like how the levels are built out of like PlayStation parts as well, which is
Yeah, it's taking you through the way that the PS5 is built and the cooling system and the GPU CPU system. It's amazing, and so much nostalgia through the game as well. Like there's so many of the little Astrobots that are actually recreating different games. There's like Tekken bits and Metal Gear, and there's just it's so much fun. Highly recommend if you somehow manage to get a PS5 to play Astro's Playroom. And it's not too difficult to platinum either. So it took me about a day and a half and I was done. So I highly recommend it. That leads me nicely on to the next part of the show, which is I've got intros and stuff now. I actually went all fancier with the show since last week. So let's do this week's gaming news, which is this. Perfect. And speaking of PlayStation, we're going to start off with the PlayStation Showcase from last week. So, annoyingly, it went out to the world at 9 p.m. BST, British Standard Time, which was about 30 minutes after we finished the show last week. So we couldn't talk about it. But I basically finished up the show last week and went, right, okay, nobody talk to me. I'm going to go sit and watch this PlayStation Showcase. And I was happily surprised at quite a lot of the stuff. I don't know, what were your first impressions, guys, on the actual show as a whole?
good.
Solid, yeah.
It was. You go first, Lewis.
No, after you.
Okay. I thought it was. Well, you think about what you would want to see from a PS5 showcase. So
Yeah.
you want to see the big AAA Sony Studios titles, and that's exactly what we got.
They
And I
delivered
think
that.
anyone who says they're disappointed, I would have to ask them the question: what exactly were you expecting? Because you can't really get any better than the new God of War, the new Spider-Man, an entirely new Marvel franchise potentially now starting as well.
That's right.
Which I'm sure we'll go through in detail. And more on the huge third-party things like Forspoken, and also surprise AAA titles like Project Eve and stuff like that. There was so much in the show.
They packed a lot in, yeah.
Unless you're the kind of person that's like, you have your narrow-minded view of the games that you like, and if they don't show you 10 games in that particular genre, then it's not going to be good enough for you. Then I don't think you can ever be pleased. But in terms of the variety on it and the titles they had, I thought it was a very successful presentation. Really good.
Agreed. Lewis, your thoughts?
Over like the course of the past like year, obviously because no one can get into the studios. Well, everyone's getting back now. A lot of the online stuff, I felt it's been a little bit underwhelming.
E3 and
everyone's
stuff
been
like that.
pulling away,
Agreed.
and hosting their own stuff. So it's a bit more like bite-sized, but like this was a whole meal. They packed like every little bit of the showtime that they had with content. It was crazy.
It was brilliant.
So
yeah.
Definitely a lot of the games I felt a lot of hype for. So
true. I'm going to kick us off with the first announcement that actually came out of the show, which was a huge surprise to everybody. I think there was possibly talk of it happening, but it wasn't really well known to the public that this was going to be a thing. And that was the Star Wars KOTOR remake. Sorry, not remaster.
KOTOR.
Yes, indeed. KOTOR, just add another R on the end because it's Knights of the Old Republic remake. That's what I've been calling it. So yeah, this is the top of the show, and it's Asper who are involved with it. So it's not BioWare that are bringing it to us. It's Asper instead. Asper more well known for porting games to Mac. That's how they started out. It's a really weird like specialty to have, and then to be given this, it's like okay. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be up to with this and how it's going to pan out. But huge surprise. Were either of you guys big KOTOR players back in the day, or did it pass you by?
I was a big Star Wars fan, but KOTOR passed me by. Just because I didn't have anything at the time good enough to run it.
I mean, I think you, at the time it was released, you would have been about 5 years old, right, Lewis?
Yeah.
John, have you what's your experience with KOTOR?
Huge fan of KOTOR. I was very much into the original Xbox. That was my daily console compared to my PS2 and GameCube at the time. So I had both KOTORs at launch on Xbox, and this must have come out between episodes 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah, it was during the prequels. Yeah, that's right.
So we were in that new world hype of Star Wars was back after 30 years, and we were all disappointed with Phantom Menace, but we didn't want to admit it yet. But Star Wars was back. But this was a completely new vision of Star Wars that, for me, I hadn't seen at the time. I've never, at the time, I was never into like all of the expanded universe things, like all the books and comics, and
novels and stuff. Yeah.
So to have KOTOR and what it did in terms of explaining the lore of the Force and all that sort of stuff, it was mind blowing to me, and I absolutely loved the first game, and the second game just so much. So I am well up for having a new KOTOR.
Nice.
Would I have liked to see KOTOR 3 instead of a remake? Maybe, but I think this is obviously going to be from a ground up, new game type thing. So I have no problem with that, and I can't remember the story anyway because it was like 2 years ago.
For replaying, it'll be a joy again. Yeah.
I mean, this was one of my favourite moments of the whole presentation. Was this?
It's an interesting one because it opens the door for KOTOR 3 possibly in the future. I think, because BioWare could then just, if this is popular and it sells well and it makes loads of money, then BioWare will be like, yeah, sure, okay, stop doing whatever you're doing over there, start making KOTOR 3, please, because there's definitely a market for it. So, interestingly enough, I think I was reading up about it, and I never played KOTOR back in the day. I didn't have an original Xbox back then. I was strongly PS2 at that point, I'm afraid. I think a lot of people online were saying that it did come out at the same time as the prequels, so episode 1 and 2 and 3. But what BioWare did was they set it way in the past, so the lore and the story from Knights of the Republic, they could do whatever they wanted with it, which was the best thing because they didn't have to get tied into the movie franchise at that point. They could basically just go off and make their game, and we know BioWare are good at making those sort of in-depth, deep RPGs. So
good with their lore and world building as well.
Definitely.
They already had like a rich palette to go off of, but they just like dived right in, carved like a whole new swath of territory for Star Wars.
So, looking forward to that. Definitely pick that up and give that a go. Next up on the showcase was this, which is quite a lengthy trailer actually, so I'm just going to let it play in the background while we chat about it. And it's Project Eve, which was an interesting one because I had not heard anything about this before. Had you guys heard anything about Project Eve before this?
No, I never heard of it at all.
Yeah, there you go. Lewis, no. I believe it's a Korean studio called Shift Up, but it basically looks like, not a rip-off, but sort of in the same vein as Bayonetta, which was fantastically popular, of course. That sort of stylistic hack and slash sort of giant monsters with a female protagonist. I don't know, how does everyone feel about this one?
I'm thoroughly looking forward to it.
Really? Did you play Bayonetta, John? That was
I love the Bayonetta series.
Nice.
Having first played Bayonetta on 360 and then the re-releases on other systems, I love the hack and slash style gameplay, and so stuff like this, followed by try and recall which one it was. Not Vanquish, Metal Gear Revengeance.
Yes.
I love a good hack and slash, like Devil May Cry type stuff like that. And this, yes, it's clearly inspired. She is Bayonetta's younger sister, it appears. But what I found so impressive about this trailer was you look at the difference in the environments for this one. It's not all set, like Bayonetta, Heaven and Hell. You've got urban landscapes, you've got open mountainous regions, you've got underground sections as well. It looks like there's going to be quite a lot of variety in it. You've got this futuristic melding with the natural world, which looks really, really good. The best thing for me was it was just a complete surprise. And it was like, oh my god, look at this game. It looks near complete. It's not just a reveal logo or anything. It's like, wow, this is a full-on game which is going to be coming out pretty soon. So yeah, very excited.
Yeah, me too. Lewis?
I had a few notes about it. I'm not really a huge hack and slash fan. Like I did like Metal Gear, but like I'm not a huge fan of like Nier and Bayonetta. I feel like this game so far, like the lighting, the enemy design, like John said, the environmental design, that team has knocked it out of the park. But I'm just not a huge fan of like games where it's like, oh, here's a butt right in your face, like
the sexualization. Is that what you're? I get that.
There's like a lot of butt shots, and like that's fine. It's just, but it's not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
I feel like the whole game is really, really gritty, and then this main character, who I'm gonna assume is Eve, is just like shiny,
What I think will be interesting, and this is a weird thing that I've come across playing PlayStation 5 recently, is I don't know if this is the same for anybody else, but my fingers are really tired from the triggers. The adaptive triggers, like pushing back on your fingers. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just getting old. But I feel like this, with adaptive triggers and sort of that haptic feedback, will just be another level. With that DualSense controller, it'll just be so... I don't know. It'll feel insane compared to, because like if I could play Bayonetta on a DualSense, straight away I'll be like, yes, please, because I think it'll add another level of difficulty, but again, it'll also make it feel totally different as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good one. And a total surprise out of the PlayStation Showcase did not see that coming at all. Next up was I'll just quickly glance over it, was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is the sort of spin-off, if you will, of the Borderlands series from Gearbox. I'm all over that, please, yes. I love Borderlands. I still haven't finished the third one yet. Nadia, Tony and I need to go back to that, but a D&D sort of Dungeons & Dragons inspired sort of mythical land sort of mashup with Borderlands and lots of guns will be really good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And that's slated for March next year. So not long away.
I'm excited to see Borderlands kind of take it in another direction, because like, while I love Borderlands, I can't imagine how many hours I put into Borderlands 2, like across all platforms. Must be in the thousands.
Yep.
I really wore myself out, but like the Tiny Tina's DLC for 2, like it's this, but in a DLC, was great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this, because it might reel me back in. You know.
Nice. Just a quick thought from you, John, on Tiny Tina. Did it? To be honest,
the Borderlands series has never been a favourite for me. It's one of those series where I kind of missed the original game. It just kind of passed me by, and then I was kind of lost, and I've just never got round to getting on the Borderlands train. But it looks like a nice game, but I probably won't get it myself. But I can totally see the appeal of it. It looks very polished.
Yes, I mean Gearbox know what they're doing at this point, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. Next up was it was a game that was teased previously under a different name, but it's finally being fleshed out, and we can see the game in action, and we can get some more information about it. And it was Forspoken, which was also popped up. This
preface it with cute cat.
Yes, the cute cat in the trailer that's coming up. I'm looking forward to this. At first, I was like, I had like strong sort of Insomniac / Square Enix vibes about this. Like, I thought it was like, okay, looking forward to exploring a new world. I'm really happy to see a new IP as well, which is something, because a lot of the stuff we've been seeing is either stuff from retro from the past, or like spin-offs from other things. Yeah, or sequels, exactly. So this being a fresh new IP looks fun. Looks really, really good. So I think it was known previously as Project Athia, or Athia, but that was a while back. I think it was last year or the year before that they sort of teased this. But this is looking really, really good now. Thoughts, you guys, on Forspoken?
I'm very much looking forward to it. It reminded me of Dreamfall that I originally played back on the original Xbox.
Right, okay.
Which was a series of 2 games where you've got a girl and she goes, into this medieval fantasy land, and she takes on a role, and it's a big sprawling RPG. Obviously, this is a bit more of an action game. But again, it's I'm always amazed by natural landscapes and how good they are looking on next gen.
Yep, absolutely.
That's been the difference, PS4s and Xbox One and current games. You look at what Naughty Dog can do with things like facial animation, and it's so good. And I don't see a huge difference between next gen when it comes to that. But then you look at the environmental detail, things like, for example, just simple things like brickwork and architecture and the lighting and that sort of stuff.
Ray tracing makes a huge amount of difference.
It just goes on forever. The detail in the background and
look at that landscape.
Absolutely stunning.
Wow.
And I'm very, very much looking forward to exploring that. But then the trailers also showed off quite a lot of the character, whose name escapes me. But we get a bit of wisecracking in here, a few little jokes here and there. So we know that it's not going to be a completely like seriously played story as well, which is quite cool. So I like the fact that it's not taking itself too seriously. But yeah, it's another stunning looking game from Square Enix. And some of these special attacks and stuff that you do, it just made me think, oh my god, Final Fantasy 16, someone's going to look in for it.
Oh my god,
like
yeah, this is, if this is anything to go by, yeah.
This is the standard now for everything from now on from Square Enix. And you think, like, what's Tomb Raider going to be looking like as well? Whenever that comes. Sorry, I've kind of just taken all of the talking points away from you guys.
It's all right.
It's totally fine, man.
I still have one up my sleeve that John didn't cover, and it's that it can ask you to go back a little bit to the
sorry,
fighting.
I can,
Is that it's obviously it's a Sony game as well, but and it's completely unrelated, kind of, is that it gives me Infamous vibes.
Okay.
Real Infamous vibes, because in like Second Son, you get all these powers, you explore new landscapes, and one of the abilities that she was using, it's like she was firing like an orange blast. Don't know if you guys saw
that one there. Yeah,
no, it was like over the shoulder view.
Okay.
There's like an exact power like that in Infamous 2, which is like the smoke ability. And it just looks really similar, and I love the combat in that. I love the look of the story in this. The world looks amazing. So
yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
And I'm even more excited that it's not just going to be PS5. It's going to be
so it's PS5 exclusive for 2 years, and it's due out next spring, so 2022. So you'll see it going on to you might see it on PC earlier than that. A lot of what I saw was if it was exclusive, it was console exclusive. Sorry, and you get that a lot nowadays because it then opens a window for PC to then get in there, maybe a little earlier than the rival console instead. So yeah, looking forward to that coming to various different consoles next year. So yeah, mark that one on my calendar, please. Right, there was a slew of stuff that we already knew about. I'm just going to quickly fire through them, and then we can move on to the next big reveal. Well, big-ish reveal. We had Rainbow Six Extraction, which we've chatted about quite a few times on the Super Arcade Show. That's looking like January next year as well. So looking forward to that. Alan Wake remaster. That was a surprise. I did not see that coming at all. So it'll be on PlayStation for the first time October this year. So just less than a month away. Sorry, September. Yes, it is. Less than a month away. And so we'll see that on the PlayStation for the first time. But it's going to be across all consoles, I think, when it does release eventually. Grand Theft Auto 5 again. Yeah, cool. Whatever. I'm sick of hearing about it.
I think your notes speak volumes. The 2013 game was slated for release on November 5th, 2021. That's a long gap right there.
I know, it's an 8-year gap, and then it's been pushed back to next year. And they're not even saying January next year; they're saying March. So it's March 2022. The game will nearly be 10 years old at that point. That's madness. But yeah, I mean, hats off to the guys from Rockstar for flogging a dead horse. Well done, and making loads of money off of it. So yeah, next up was Ghostwire Tokyo, which I am looking forward to. There were a few changes. I put some notes down saying it's Tango Gameworks that are in charge of that one. They were responsible for Evil Within 1 and 2 in the past, but this is less of a sort of horror atmospheric kind of game. Well, it's still atmosphere, but it's more of an action-based sort of game instead. So they've got Shinichiro Hara from the team that did the 2016 Doom, actually taking care of the action and the combat in this. So I reckon it's going to be pretty good, and I can't wait to see that. It is also again a console exclusive for a year on the PS5 and will be out next spring as well. So you'll get to see that on Xbox in 2023. Then it was Guardians of the Galaxy, which again I played the Avengers game. It was so boring. I gave up after I think an hour. I tried my best. And so Guardians is coming out, and that's October this year again. So look out for that and completely forget about it again after a week at the end of October. Then there was a little reveal for Blood Hunt, which is a free-to-play battle royale based on Vampire the Masquerade, which is a TTRPG, a tabletop RPG game, which I downloaded. It's on early access on Steam, and I downloaded it on my laptop, and I gave it a little go. Not too bad. They've got something going there, and I think once it releases on console, then it'll probably pick up a little. Lewis, did you get a chance to try it yet? We've been chatting about it.
I downloaded it, but I haven't yet had a chance.
Yeah, we'll have a go. Yeah, we'll have a go. But interesting concept, that one, because it's battle royale, but you've got guns and weapons and stuff and armor, but then you've also got sort of vampiric powers, which is quite cool as well. Then there was Deathloop, which in my notes I just wrote it's Deathloop because it's out. It came out at the weekend there. And was it the weekend or was it Tuesday? Is it
Tuesday.
It's only been out 2 days and already I'm sick. Nothing against Bethesda and R-CADE. I said this to the guys before we were coming into the show. I'm sure I'll love it if I play it, and the people that have been playing it have been telling me they've been loving it. So I'll get around to it eventually, but I was just pushed in my face a little too much, and I didn't need any more of it in the showcase, but that's fine. Then there was Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, which is Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy bundled together with some tiny little tweaks to make it look a little bit nicer, and it's also getting released on PC because Sony are doing that now. So that'll be out. Actually, I don't think there was a release date on that one. I couldn't see anything, so whenever. And then back to new stuff. So the next one was a really weird little drop into the showcase, which I didn't see any. I didn't know anything about. And it's Radio. Oh, pressed play by accident. It's Radiohead. They are re-releasing their 20-year-old albums, which are Kid A and I'm trying to get this the right way around. Kid A and Amnesiac. From 2000 and 2001, they're getting re-released to the public, along with the third album called Kid Amnesia, which has sort of unreleased material on it. But to sort of celebrate that, Radiohead have teamed up with Epic Games, Lewis's favourite people in the world, to create an experience. I think they're calling it. It's kind of like this weird exhibition thing. I don't know what to make of this. Did you guys have any feelings about this?
I don't know what it is, but I like Radiohead, so.
You like Radiohead, that's good.
With obviously, not the biggest fan of Epic, but I love stuff like this. I want this stuff to continue, promote stuff like this, bringing games into like
something different,
closer to reality. Yeah, it's not just like a game, it's something to explore. It's a visual novel, but not,
It seems like the kind of thing you'd want on VR, so I don't know why there wasn't any talk of VR on it at all. I don't know if there is any support for VR with it, but it feels like the kind of thing you would do in VR.
Yeah, like a virtual gallery.
But we'll wait and see. There's not really been any details dropped about what it entails. But as a fan of Radiohead, I'll check it out, definitely. And then it was a weird jump to a game called Chia. I think it's pronounced Chia. Yeah. You guys
completely different from the last thing.
Yeah, it was a complete flip to this lovely, gorgeous little game called Chia, which is from an indie developer called Awaseb, I think it's, or Awaseb. And it's all about exploring a set of islands called New Caledonia, which is a French colony in the South Pacific. Thoughts on this? What were your impressions of this one, guys?
I was distracted by the Last of Us guitar at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like a lovely game, and it's going to have some deep, meaningful story about nature and stuff. It's probably not the kind of thing that I'm going to buy, but it looks very polished. and a very interesting art style.
I kind of weirded out by the fact that you can just jump into animals.
It's
I love
it's like the peyotes in Grand Theft Auto, isn't it? Where you turn into a random thing, or it's like Mario Odyssey on acid. I don't know.
I honestly think it's probably my favorite aspect from the game. Like, see that bit where they were the bird and they flew up and then they jumped out and zoomed into the other animal? I think that would be really cool.
I'd like to know if it actually ties into gameplay, the changing between animals.
Yeah, because they showed.
There's got to be a bird to do this bit, or can you flip between different animals to reach certain areas, that kind of thing. That's what I want.
Yeah, they showed there a crab using his big claw to smash open.
Oh, we did a live stream reactions for this when it was broadcast, and we made up our own bingo card, and just for a laugh, we put crab on the bingo card, and we got it. It was a real moment for us.
Fantastic. I love it. There he is. Hey, little fella.
It's not my kind of game, but it looks like the kind of game that you would just boot up and chill with.
Again, like Astro's Playroom, wouldn't normally. I love a little platformer. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I randomly chose it to give it a go. It wasn't like I saw some advertising, but I need to play that, and that will probably be the same. If I get a copy of it, then I'll sit and I'll put a bit of time into it. But not something I would go out of my way to try and track down. But,
it's like
beautiful.
The Witness, where you just play it and enjoy all the looks, but you're not really
not the Witness. I'm still traumatized by the puzzles in the Witness. Please don't.
Pretty hard.
It's so hard. Anyway, after that though, like people were, I think I kind of like lulled into a nice sort of after that, and then this dropped, and I was like, "What the actual? What? Where did this come from?" And it's the oops, I did it again. It's the announcement that Insomniac are working on something else that isn't Spider-Man, and I was like, no.
See, my first thought, hang on, bar scene, I thought this was Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it wasn't. But the weird thing is that I didn't even think of Wolverine until the end. Despite clearly there's a guy with blood coming out of his knuckles, I thought that would be quite obvious what it was going to be. But I didn't know it until it came up. And what this means, this is obviously going to be another huge franchise for sure. Already
massive.
It's going to be similar vein to Spider-Man, of course. It's going to be an absolute showpiece for the system. We assume it's PS5 exclusive. It is, isn't it?
It said coming soon to PS5. I think at the bottom of at the end of the trailer.
But then I'm thinking, I'm assuming this is going to be a third-person action adventure like Spider-Man.
We're assuming that,
but it could be anything. But you'd have to imagine that based on the types of games that Insomniac, are known for and at least have done recently. I'm thinking, what type of gameplay are we going to get here? Because it's not like he's got guns. He hasn't really got that many range attacks, that kind of stuff. It's going to be very much more melee combat. So then I'm thinking, is it going to be more of like a slow, methodical style, Soulsborne type game? Maybe not with that difficulty, but are we maybe looking at a game that's very much focused on like combo attacks and stuff and melee stuff? So like a different gameplay style to Spider-Man, for combat rather than just mashing buttons. It's going to be very much a combat focused game.
I think that's just the difference between Wolverine and Spider-Man, just in terms of the way they move, the way they act. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It'll be something a bit more. I mean,
and what other characters are we going to get in this? Because you could literally have anyone, couldn't you? You
could absolutely. This opens out the entire gamut of X-Men. And then on top, there's the mind boggles as to what you could get there.
I think I will be disappointed if they don't put like an overemphasis, not an overemphasis, but if they don't put in a lot of work on like dismemberment. If I'm running around with claw hands, I want to chop somebody's arm off.
I want this. It's got to be an 18. I want this to be an 18 rated game.
I want to see guts.
Definitely.
But then, to be fair, you look at the trailer. Everyone's covered in blood. There are dead people.
You're setting a tone. You're already setting the tone.
With a knife. I don't think this isn't going to be a 12 rated game.
No, for sure.
I want full-on evil, nasty, troubled Wolverine.
It's an interesting because it's like well, I mean, you don't want to take too much from that cinematic, but it seems to be in terms of timescale, he's not part of the X-Men at that point. It's probably before he became X-Men, and he's still maybe just telling the story of Logan and how he came to be that at that point. He's obviously got the adamantium already, but it'll be, I don't know, it could be some sort of backstory, but then you don't know. You never know.
The timeline for Logan is just a little bit all over the place. So they have some wiggle room as well.
Totally.
Who are they getting to voice him?
Oh, that'll be Nolan North again. Just Nolan North as always. Probably. Everyone keep just employing him for everything.
Surprised he has time to speak his own voice because he's too busy voicing everyone else.
He's too busy doing everything else. Yeah, it's true. Nice, and then we got a big featurette on Gran Turismo 7, which we know a lot about, and I was happy to see. It looks phenomenal. It looks so good. Absolutely pushing the boat out with what you can do with the next gen consoles. There's talk of it sort of being more in tuned to the older Gran Turismo games and pulling in loads of content from the older games as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's slated for March 2022. So not long for that one either. John, you excited for that? I thought you might.
I am thoroughly excited for it. Obviously, a big fan of racing games. Like you said, there does seem to be. They're going for a slightly nostalgic angle here. Like the first car they showed off was the Castrol branded Toyota Supra from the very first game, and it's all very much Skylines and Silvias, and my favourite car, the Skyline R34, was all in there. Nice, They showed some glimpses of some of the original tracks as well, which, to be fair, have always maintained. They've always been in the GT games, but it's got that. It feels like it's got that vibe from the original games of like the car modification and the street scene and stuff like that. Perhaps not quite as, sort of clinical and showroomy as the more recent games have become. It's going a bit more down to the sort of less official competition type stuff. Although I did see they have now said that you will need to be online for the single player campain, which suggests microtransactions, which is a thing. But but obviously, it looks absolutely stunning. It will no doubt be brilliant. And if it comes out in March as intended, I will eat my hat. This has got September, October, Christmas time written all over it. We will have. Okay, I'm going to make you a bet.
Okay. I
will bet there will be another Forza series game announced before we see GT7 on the shelves.
Really? Okay. I think a lot of people were disappointed they didn't get it in time for launch for the PS5.
I remember talking about this when
no
the PS5
Gran Turismo has ever come out on time.
No, this is true. Okay. I mean, we've got Horizon. Oh God, what number is it now? 5? Horizon 5, which is due very soon. Very, very. It's November, is it not? It's like a month away, 2 months.
It actually comes out on my birthday. Yes.
Is that? There you go. So yeah, we got Horizon 5 coming, and then we're due. It'll be Motorsport 8 at that point, I believe, if I remember rightly. If your bet is going to be true, John, there'll be a Motorsport. I
suppose technically they've already announced that, though, haven't they?
Kinda. But they've not shown anything to do with it. So they've been focusing on Horizon, and then probably once that launches Christmas time, they'll be like, right, okay, we can start showing off stuff for Motorsport 8. Yeah. Right, and then it was on to probably the final new thing, which was which was this. Of course, Spider-Man 2, which we all knew was coming. How could they not make a Spider-Man 2 after the sheer volume of sales they got from Spider-Man 1 on the PS4/PS5 and Miles Morales? This looks. I mean, there's no gameplay, but it looks great. Gotta say, I was very excited. I instantly clicked with the Craven voiceover. I knew it as soon as I heard it. I was like, "That's Craven. That has to be Craven." And then surprised they didn't show Craven, and instead showed somebody else hiding down an alleyway, which was, of course, Venom. And then interesting that you've got both Miles Morales and Peter Parker in the trailer as well, which was a strange choice, but I've got a reason for that in a minute. I just want to let this bit play out. It's so cool.
That just reminded me of Slide from Thundercats.
Nice.
Magnifique.
That was beautiful. That's what you needed. 2023 though, which is a little disappointing. I mean, original Spider-Man was 2018, I want to say, or was it 2019? I forget. I actually didn't fact check that.
I think it might have been 18.
I think it was 2018.
God of War was 18, wasn't it?
God of War was, was 2018, 100%, yes, definitely. But I think Spider-Man was 2018 as well, because I always wanted the special edition PS4 Pro, the red one with the Spider-Man logo on the top. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I want that. Thoughts? I mean, that was lovely to look at, and very happy to see it.
So I'm just going to touch on something I know you're going to say, Andy, which is the multiplayer aspect of it, right? That might be a possibility. But just because
I would love that.
We're saying it. I would love it as well. But obviously, Craven or the voiceover.
It might not be.
It may not be. The voiceover, we'll just say, is saying like who's going to challenge me, and then Venom pops out and goes, "We will." Yeah. So you've got Venom, you've got Peter Parker, you got Miles Morales, and then voiceover asking for a challenge. So I want to play as Venom. Is what I'm saying. I want to play as Venom.
You want a standalone Venom game made by Insomniac. That's what you want, right? Yeah. You're like, Wolverine? No, I want Venom, man. Venom. There was Insomniac posted an advertisement earlier this year. I think it was April, advertising for new staff who are sort of specialized in multiplayer gaming. So that was a weird sort of thing to be putting out there. Or no, they didn't put it out there. Somebody, went and found it. But it was a weird coincidence. And I mean, they were working on Ratchet and Clank at that point. They were kind of trying to get Rift Apart out. So there was rumors that if it was on top of that, and now it's the rumor mill is going, right, okay, we've seen both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in that trailer. Does that mean there's some sort of multiplayer aspect to Spider-Man 2? I mean, the overhead is there. If they go with the same sort of map layout in terms of New York, and it just retraces the steps of Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales games, then there's more power in that PS5 to be able to do multiplayer. So it's not out of the question. Or is it going to be something more akin to sort of GTA 5, and you can just jump in and out of their stories? Go from Peter Parker and then zip over to Miles Morales' story and jump between the two to tell a bigger story over the arc. That's my sort of 2 cents as to what it could mean. John, anything you want to add in?
It's intriguing because this recent generation of excellent PlayStation exclusives, the Spider-Mans, the God of Wars, the Uncharted, the Last of Us, they are all single-player epic productions.
Yep.
And it seems very risky to now change that up and to make it some form of co-op or multiplayer thing. So I think if that's the route they're going down, it's very brave. But at the same time, implementing some sort of online element, whether that's something that you need to do or not is going to make or break, I think, it for me. I would prefer to keep it as a single player campaign rather than some sort of co-op thing, just because it's very hard to maintain the targeted atmosphere that you want to create in a game. If you put in multiplayer and you're then talking to a friend while you're playing, it takes you out of the immersion of the game mode. But then at the same time, hell yes, it's a multiplayer Spider-Man game where we can fight, good guys and bad guys flying all over New York, responding to, people in need and stuff like that, from around the map. I can totally see how it would work. And that is also quite exciting. But it really depends whether you're a fan of multiplayer games or whether you're a fan of, single player campaign stuff, really. But I have faith that it's going to turn out great. Obviously, of course it is. It's got infinite budget behind it. It will be.
Sony's just throwing money. Like, no, whatever you want, just do it, guys. Just do it. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah. We trust you.
They're throwing money like Spider-Man is throwing webs. It's like...
yeah, exactly. I mean, after the success of Spider-Man and how amazing Rift Apart looks, then yeah, without a doubt.
Jumping off what you said, Andy, there about it being like GTA, having the different characters, I just really want to like be playing as like Peter Parker, and then you switch to like Miles, and he's like eating a hot dog or something, and then throws down, and you can play as him, and then you switch to Venom, and he's like eating somebody, and like because obviously in GTA you had like the character swaps, where sometimes you would swap to say like Trevor, and he'd be like in a dress fighting somebody. And you're like, okay, this I guess is this starting.
yeah.
So that would be good.
Nice. So yeah, looking forward to that. But 2023, so still a while to wait. So they'll trickle out details as it goes, and we'll find out more as it comes. Hopefully soon. They finished up the show pretty much with a huge look at God of War Ragnarok, of course, which was massive. And they revealed Thor, which there was a lot of blowback on Twitter apparently for his character model. Don't see why. I mean, it's a chubby Thor, but what's the problem here? I don't know. I don't see the problem.
There's getting a lot of blowback.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on Ragnarok yet because I haven't finished 2018 God of War, and I'm waiting to sort of finish that before I start looking at more stuff. But what do you guys think? Like Ragnarok? John, you played original God of War. Well, not original, sorry, but 2018.
I absolutely loved 2018 God of War. The originals didn't really do it for me, even though I like hack and slash games. But it was more of a button masher game, to be fair. The originals.
It was, yeah. With some quick
this new one, absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10 for me. This Ragnarok doesn't seem to be doing a lot different. It's definitely going to be more of the same. I expect the gameplay to be pretty much identical. It's just going to be a new story, new environments, and I'm more than happy with that because I don't want them to change what is an almost perfect game. They've got all the returning characters are all in there as well.
Yep.
I like the fact that the game is set. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but the game is set quite soon. It appears after the first one. Like,
okay.
Do you even know what the boy's name is yet? Have you got that far in God of War?
Starts with A. I can't remember. Atreus?
So Atreus only appears to be like a couple of years older. So it's not like, we're jumping into
I did see the character model.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks every bit as good as I was hoping. Good. Like it.
Nice. The one thing I wanted to add in was that I think in the 2018 game they covered 6 of the 9 realms, I believe, is what I was reading online. But the new game, because it's on this generation or the new generation of consoles, it's going to be the full 9 realms, and you'll be able to go back through the old 6 from the previous game plus the other 3 on top. Supposedly, that's what I've heard. I think that's right.
So I played the original God of War.
Have you?
But I haven't played the 2018 one. So it's like I'm the opposite. But I am interested. It's always great. I was watching a video today, actually, weirdly, on like the history, like Kratos' history of like from child to now. It was like 3 hours long. It was a good watch. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. I think it's one of those games I'll watch someone else play though.
Okay. Like me, like on my stream instead of playing Genshin last night. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
I kind of feel like I might not play it again on stream because I want to enjoy it myself. You know, that way streaming a game is different from playing a game. And so I think I might shy away from streaming it too much because I want to enjoy it. And I know I will get drawn right into it. So
just need to find someone else there.
Just need to find somebody else to watch. Sorry. Right. We've waffled on quite a lot about that PlayStation stuff. Let's move on to something completely different, which is the news that came out yesterday from Nintendo, which is that finally Nintendo have added Bluetooth support for audio, so you can connect your Bluetooth headphones to your Switch. Yay! People have been asking for this since the Switch came out, but yeah, you can now add Bluetooth audio. The caveat is that if you connect a Bluetooth headset to your Switch, you won't be able to connect up 4 controllers at the same time. You'll only be able to connect up 2. So stuff like Mario Party, Mario Kart, etc., doing sort of bigger multiplayer on one Switch isn't a capability if you're using Bluetooth audio. So I can see why Nintendo didn't want to do it, but at the same time, I don't know. It feels kind of silly. I feel like they should have just let people do it from the start.
Yeah, I was in the camp that thought they already had it because it's just kind of a thing that everything comes with these days. Yeah, so I thought it was weird.
It's kind of basic functionality, guys.
Yeah, not a criticism. I mean, Nintendo, you do whatever you're doing. You're clearly doing it well, but I just thought it was strange.
It's very strange. John, are you happy? Are you excited to finally be able to use Bluetooth headphones with your Switch?
I'm absolutely thrilled. I've been really looking forward to this. It's really something that I've been really hoping for. No, seriously, it's nice. It's, what a surprise. It's the typical, Nintendo missing out on a basic standard feature and finally catching up years and years later, albeit still with limitations. It's so typical, isn't it? It is astounding, and it's it's Nintendo, isn't it? It's just how they go. But it's like you've literally got, with the exception of maybe the PlayStation 5, the hottest, most highest in demand consumer tech product in the entire world, and it's only until yesterday didn't have the ability to put a pair of blinking wireless headphones on it. Come on. Literally, it's I can't believe how Nintendo get such a pass on this.
They just do things their way. They don't like you can't tell us what to do.
And everyone goes, "Oh, that's all right. It's Nintendo. It's just Nintendo. Them and their quirkiness and all of that." And it's like, no. Yes, they have great games and great characters, but they're a corporate entity like anyone else, and they should be able to provide the basic features that we want. But there's still no things like friend parties. There's still no things like in-game chat, all that kind of stuff that they say it's because, they like to keep it anonymous because for safety and kids and all that kind of stuff. But, you could be potentially attracting a whole new audience if you could get this, the tech side of things. And, you've only got to look at, we do a Mario Kart tournament every week online at OLL, and every single show that we do, without fail, there is at least one, connection dropout where everyone in the game gets kicked out. And in 2021, Nintendo need to get on top of that sort of stuff. But for some reason, they get a pass because they're Nintendo and everyone loves them. But they are just like Disney. On the outside, they're all cute and fluffy and everyone loves them. But on the inside, they're a cold, heartless...
Money.
Yeah, exactly. Just the same as any other corporate entity. But they are so good. They are so good at maintaining their public image that, it's a huge deal when they add a Bluetooth headset capability to their console that it gets into a talking point on all of the gaming podcasts and live streams around the world.
I'd like to point out that this is it's update 13.0 for the Switch. So there's been 13 updates, or there's been 12 updates previous to this, including iterations between those 13. And it's
What
now
have they
they've
done?
just not done. I know. What else
What
have you
have
been
they
doing,
done?
Nintendo? What else
Um,
that it's taking you this long?
It really reminds me of, like, you know, in sci-fi shows or anything like that, where it shows like this really advanced race, but they haven't put any focus on like culture. So they've got tons of technology, no culture. It's like
Yeah.
they put all of their points into like dexterity and intelligence, and then like constitution. Nah, we'll leave that. It's like,
Can't be bothered with that. Don't need that. It's fine.
yeah,
It's fine.
it's
People
weird.
still believe us anyway. Well, speaking of updates, there was an update for PlayStation 5 yesterday, because I turned my PS5 on and it went, "Can you update your controller?" And I went, "What?" And then, "Can you update your console?" At the same time, I'm like, "Okay, sure." But PlayStation rolled out a new update for the PS5, which included quite a few features, actually.
The control panel.
Yes, they've done some updates to the control panel. Added some new stuff. I love the new trophy tracker. It's something that Xbox has had ever since I've had the Series X, and I'm like, if I'm going achievement hunting, it's been really, really good to have. And so adding the trophy tracker is fantastic. Being able to move the power button is ridiculously, like, that makes me so happy, because I hate having to go and then scroll all the way to the far end of the control panel to turn off my PlayStation, which is a pain in the butt. It's so simple. It's so simple. And it doesn't take 13 updates to get there. But yeah, the big, I think, things from this update were the ability to use M.2 storage, so you can upgrade your hard drive size on the PS5. They are quite strict on the specifications as to which hard drives you can use, but you can now upgrade your PlayStation memory, because 825 gigabytes is not enough for anything, frankly. I don't know. Actually, John, how are you getting on with your 825 gigs?
I literally, well, how much time have we got here?
No.
Just quickly then. I had a PlayStation 4 Pro, which had a terabyte hard drive. I bought a PlayStation 5, which was nice. I did the whole transfer over, and then I realised that the operating system on the PS5 takes up more memory than the operating system on my PS4 Pro. So everything on my PS4 Pro, I couldn't transfer to my PS5. So brilliant, brand new console, less games. Not to mention any PS5 games that you put on. On top of that, I installed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order recently, because it has a free PS5 update. You need to have the PS4 disc in the console in order to run the PS5 upgrade, which is fine. However, you have to install the PS4 game, which takes up 50 gig of memory, and then it has to download a PS5 version of the game. But then you have to effectively have 2 copies of the game, a PS4 and a PS5 version, on your hard drive in order to run the one game. So I've got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it takes up 125 gigabytes.
Jeez.
Wow.
For one game.
Wow.
And you've actually only got like 800 gig of actual usable space, not to mention all my PS4 and digital purchases and everything. So it is pretty much an essential thing now for these new consoles that you will need external storage.
Yep.
So it's good that they are supporting extra brands. They're making it easier to, in terms of compatibility for different brands of extra hard drives and stuff like that. But they really could have just put more storage in the console. But then, it raises the price, obviously.
The base price would have come up, yeah.
But it it really should be made aware to people who are buying a console that, we actually just got a PS5 at the cafe recently, and I put 9 games on it, and it was full.
That was it.
Like, oh, great, okay. Yeah.
I did see your Instagram post, I did, yeah.
Yeah. But then, to be fair, and of those 9 games, only 3 of them are actually like PS5 games, like Ratchet and Clank. And
that's the thing; it's all PS4, because there's not that many PS5 exclusives or PS5 versions of games at the moment yet. So I'm the same. Storage
is a real issue, and in fairness as well, I don't want to be just bashing PlayStation. I've got exactly the same problem with my Series X as well. It's very, very limiting.
I would say the same. My Series X, I've had to be a bit frugal with what games I'm downloading onto. I also downloaded and installed Star Wars. Why can I never remember the name of that game?
Star Wars
Fallen Jedi. That's the
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, thank you. I can never remember the name.
Fallen Order. To be fair, though, it is actually a really good Star Wars game as well.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
And it makes me think, just to come back to the remake as well for KOTOR, obviously they're going to modify because it was like pretty much mostly turn-based, wasn't it? In KOTOR, it was turn-based, but you can move your character here and there. I think they're going to modify that and make that like how Final Fantasy Remake has modified turn-based combat into real-time combat. I think they'll do the same thing. And if they took some elements from Jedi Fallen Order and put that into KOTOR for the combat, I'd be all right with that.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's fine. Absolutely fine, man. The other thing was part of the update was 3D audio can now be activated through your TV speakers, which I did when I got home and didn't notice any difference, to be honest. It really works through a headset, but not through your TV speakers, because there's just so much other stuff happening in the room usually. Yeah, Lewis, you don't have a PS5, so I assume you don't have much to say about this one.
No, not really. Updates. Woo!
Yay! Can it take Bluetooth? I think it can.
That's good. Oh,
that's the other annoying thing. I had to buy a PS5 camera for my PS5 to be able to stream from my PS5 because it doesn't take USB cameras, although the Series X does. Took my Logitech camera, no problem. So it's one thing you get, one thing you don't with everyone else. But go upgrade your hard drive on your PS5 because you probably need it already. Perfect. That was this week's gaming news. That was a lot. But thank you guys. We're going to do the next part of the show, which is this. This is the part of the show where we feature a product from our own web store because we're just that narcissistic. So this week's featured product is the This Is Fine dog plushie, which is based off of the famous meme, of course, that everyone knows of the dog sitting in a room on fire and he just says, "This is fine." So we've got plushies of that very character on our web store, available for $14.99. If I can... Yes, Control Tab works. There you go. There he is. That's the cute little bugger there. He's available for $14.99 on our web store now. You can do that through Facebook. You can go to our store, which is www.arcadeglasgow.com/store and pick one up right now. They've been very popular already. I've nearly sold out and I've ordered some more. So,
pretty big.
Good. Thank you, everyone. He's like 22 centimeters. He's about this big. Bit big as my head, really. Not that I've measured the height of my head, but weirder things have happened.
How many switches tall?
how many switch lights?
Oh,
you need to get that right. That's how Nadia measures things, John, just for future reference. Nadia measures things in the switch light. Go check it out on our web store now. Okay, moving on, flashing through. The next part is this thing, which I made a thing for earlier, which I'm very proud of. Here you go, enjoy. Oh yeah, I thought John would enjoy that intro. It's time for Wipe It, Blow It, Install It, guys. This is the segment of the show where I have a little mini game for you guys to play. So this is interactive. You can play in the chat as well if you want. Basically, I've got a list of 6 games, and I want you guys to tell me which format or which media these games were released on first. So their initial release, and your options are disc, cartridge, or digital. It can be multiple, so it could be 1 or 2, or possibly even all 3 of these. But you guys have to guess which media they were first released on. So, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John is going
do we just shout it out as soon as we know it?
I'll go through you one at a time. So I'll say your name, and then I'll ask for your answer, and then we'll move on from there. Okay. The first game is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Now, I'm going to go with Lewis first on this one. Lewis.
Cart and disc.
Cart and disc, Lewis says. John?
Surely it can only be cart and disc if it comes out day and date on the same...
Correct.
things. Okay. I'm going to say disc.
Just disc. Okay. Anyone in chat? Oh, Gamer Husband says cart. Okay. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. was first released on disc for the PS1.
PS1? Yes!
PS1, October 1996. It was then released on N64 in cartridge form and the Sega Saturn, and was eventually released on Windows as well. So well done, John. 1 point. Congratulations. Yes. Okay, nice and easy. The next one is Doom. And John, I'm going to go with you first. Digital, disc, cart. What was that first released on? The original Doom from 1993, I'm going with here.
Ooh, are we talking... Depends how accurate you want to be. I'm going to say digital.
Okay. Lewis?
I
love this game so much.
I'm going to go with...
No.
You've locked in your guess. You've locked in your...
Oh,
No, he's locked in.
Man.
No, he's locked in. Lewis, what's your answer?
I'm going to go with disc and cart again.
Disc and cart again. Okay. I am going to be technical about this, John. John is correct. It is digital. It was uploaded to the University of Wisconsin servers in 1993 before going anywhere else. And it actually caused an almost instantaneous crash of the servers as 10,000 players tried to download it at the same time and they could not handle it. So it was digital initially. But there you go. Well done, John. Another point. Okay. Third game is Rayman. The original Rayman. I'm going to go with Lewis on this one first.
I believe disc.
Okay.
Just disc.
Just disc. Okay. John?
I think it was just disc. I think it was just PS1, wasn't it?
Gamer Husband also says disc in the chat. Wrong. You're both wrong. Sorry, guys. It was initially released on the Atari Jaguar on cartridge.
Oh, come on.
It was this is totally true. You can check the wiki if you want. September 1st, 1995, it was released on the Atari Jaguar, and then 8 days later it was released on disc on the PS1 and then the Saturn and then Windows. So there you go. It was cart first, then disc. Weird on that.
Jaguar, which we recently
added to our we've got an Atari Jaguar to play in arcade now. There's only 3 games.
Have you got Tetris?
Doom's one of them.
No, I've got Doom, I've got Wolfenstein 3D, and I've got Cybermorph. That's the 3 games I have so far. So solid, but Tempest I'll add to the list, John. Don't worry, I'll get it. Okay, next game, V-Rally. V-Rally, the original V-Rally. John, I'm going to go with you first. What do you think?
I remember I bought this when it first came out, or at least when it first came out on a format that I owned. So I'm going to go with disc.
Okay. Lewis?
I was also going to go with disc.
That's fine. That's fine. So you're both going to go disc. You're both correct. It was disc. John, what format was that? I
had it on PS1.
It was original PS1, yes. It came out on PS1 first. It was based on the 97-98 season of the World Rally Championship. I also got it on release on the PS1. And then it got an N64 release the following year as V-Rally 99. And they updated it with the 99 season of the World Rally Championship, therefore. So there you go. Okay. Number 5, here we go. Civilization 6. Civilization 6. Lewis, I'm going to go with you first on this one.
I believe that the first release for it was digital only.
Okay. John?
But I'm going to be wrong.
I don't even know what number they're on now. Are they on 7 now, or is 6 the current one?
I think 6 is still the current one. I don't think they've released.
Current.
Yeah. I don't think they've released another one.
I'd be guessing, so I'm going to say disc and digital, same day.
Okay. John is correct. It was disc and digital. The physical release for PC was on disc as well.
Sorry. That was a guess,
that was 2016. It was for Windows and Mac OS. It was released before it made its way to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. There is actually a cartridge version of that game, which is madness. Okay, last one. Here we go. Assassin's Creed, the original Assassin's Creed. John, what's your guess? Or what do you know, actually?
Original
Assassin's Creed. Yep.
I would have thought just disc, wouldn't it? Just 360 and Xbox 360. I'm pretty sure was the first format.
Okay, Lewis.
He
doesn't trust me anymore.
No, I get. It's the divide between what you know and what you bought the game on, and then what it
There's
actually.
a personal perspective.
The first thing it came out on, you might not know about. Like that Doom one. All right,
that Doom one was evil. Yeah. Gamer Husband says digital. I think for that one. Sianaman also says digital. I think for the.
I'm gonna go disc and digital because
disc and digital.
I got it on disc, but I'm pretty sure one of my friends got it on digital.
Okay. Assassin's Creed, the original Assassin's Creed, 2007 November, was released in disc form only on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and then it got released digitally on Windows 6 months later in April of 2008. So there you go. Well done, John. Another point. I think John wins that game. Well done,
I got 1 point.
You got one. Well done, Lewis.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Wipe It, Blow It, Install It. Thank you for playing. Right, let's move on. This. Okay, John, it's time to talk out to you. Do you mind if I put you full screen? Would you like? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely fine.
I'll make you big. There you go. You can go above. There you go. Beautiful. John, how are you? How have you been enjoying the show so far? Has it been okay?
This is you guys are so much more professional than us.
I'm trying.
This is the amazing thing is to come onto the show. Andrew messaged me like a week ago and said, "Have you got a window where you'd like to come on? Join our bits and pieces. Promote what you do, all that kind of stuff." Like, yeah, sure, no worries. And then the next day, he sends me this massive Google document, which is like. No word of a lie. It took me 5 minutes to scroll through it and read the thing for the plan for this 2-hour show. Yeah. Everything broken down in detail by like every few minutes with timestamps and talking points and everything. Literally, when I do it, me, Bill, and Ash, we jump on Discord at 5 to 7 and go, "What we chatting about tonight?" And then we just hit the go live button. There you go. So, just like serious kudos to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
For your production values and your planning, and basically you completely put our show to shame. Having said that, please do come and follow all the OLL channels because some of them are actually relatively entertaining.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'm chucking a link in the chat.
Thing I'm here to promote.
There you go. I think is it Sarah that's on right now? Actually, she's live right now doing Resident Evil 7, or is that?
I believe right now Jack is playing.
Was it Jack?
Resident Evil 7. He'll be going on, so you might be able to catch him after this, perhaps.
Nice.
Yeah, he normally does a couple of hours on a Thursday for us, but yeah, we're on Twitch almost every day. There's only sort of the odd 1 or 2 days that we don't do, as of course it can sometimes be. I've just realised that I'm listed as a frenemy on the screen there.
Sorry.
Oh God.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. Obviously now that that our cafe reopened back in July after coming out of lockdown, obviously we have slightly different restrictions to what you guys obviously have.
Down south is different. Yeah.
We were allowed to open up a little bit earlier. In all honesty, it was totally pointless because no customers really came in until August anyway. Because the majority of people have been quite sensible with things. But now that the cafe is starting to get busy again, it does limit what I can do myself in terms of the Twitch streams and stuff. So we've now kind of got our Twitch team of Jack and Bill and Sarah, along with Ash, who will kind of rotate round for our streams and stuff. But it's all going and it's all busy, and I literally never sleep, and all I do is work. Basically, that's me.
Well, moving through something, I sent you a few questions. I think you've answered actually the first one without me even asking anything. So, thank you. I mean, in terms of coming back and opening back up in July, obviously during lockdown, same as us, you guys were very heavy on Twitch and streaming and trying to stay connected with the community. And I think you guys have done really well with your Facebook community as well, actually, being able to talk to people there and then setting up the Discord off the back of that. But I mean, what I wanted to ask was, how have you found being open again physically and having an actual physical space where people can come down and still maintaining that digital sort of influence over you and be able to talk to people? Have you found it hard to sort of integrate the two, or has it been kind of seamless?
It's been challenging for sure. So of course, since like March 2020, where it was like, oh my god, everyone's suddenly closed. Just like you guys, we put all of our time and attention onto maintaining our community of customers and keeping everyone engaged by doing the live streams, online tournaments, the chat shows, all the kind of things that both of us have been doing.
Yep.
Just trying to keep everyone together, and not necessarily for the needs of the business, but also for ourselves to keep in touch with our customers and the friends that we've made through work and stuff like that. And so as we looked to, originally we were able to reopen, I think it was actually July 2020 after the first lockdown. So we had a few people come back then, but then there were so many rules and regulations of what you could do. The business just wasn't the same. And in hindsight, I would have probably just kept closed for the 3 months that we actually opened for like summer and autumn last year. As it was just pointless. I should have just stayed at home and claimed some furlough, so then obviously we then had another lockdown as well. So we continued the online stuff. But in that time, obviously, where we've been closed to the public, we've also been in the background planning the next sort of direction for our business, which is our natural evolution of our events schedule into our big convention that's coming up soon. But before I get to that, just to talk about the reopening and how that's affected what we do online, 100%, we've definitely tried to maintain our online footprint as much as we can while now being open to the public. So anyone who's familiar with us and our team, Ash would normally work at the cafe with myself. Ash has now taken a step back from the cafe duties and focuses more on like the social media side, online stuff. We've now brought in Sarah, Bill's wife. So we now have more evening streams. So we've got different variety of presenters, different variety of content and games and stuff. Nice. While I myself take on the main sort of cafe priorities and then keep doing that. So we've done our best to keep everything going on the online side of things, and here we are. I just have no life or no free time, but eventually it will pay off, because we'll hopefully get to that point where it starts to translate into basically the Twitch and the YouTube and all the online stuff that we do. It's basically our marketing tool for our physical venue. And so eventually, we are hoping, and we're seeing it, I think, in small amounts now, where that will obviously drive local people to come and physically visit the cafe, where we actually make some, that's where we actually make our money and what fees. But we see quite a few people that come in now. Even actually, literally just today, I had someone come in and goes, "Oh, I saw you on Twitch. I've seen your stuff on YouTube, nice. And it's nice to finally see that you're back open and back in." So, in that respect, it's early days, but it's starting to grow us, which is really good.
It's good.
And then I put this massive thing in place, this plan for a convention on top of everything going on at the moment. But it's all good fun. It's all good fun.
It's good. I mean, speaking of the convention, OLL 22 coming to everybody in less than 6 months. You're talking about September, October, November, December, January, February. Oh my God, it's so close.
It's getting scary now.
How are you dealing with it? How are you feeling about it?
I'm just ignoring it now. So the OLL 22 Video Games Convention, which takes place on the 15th and 16th of January at the Norfolk Showground Arena, which is basically the biggest indoor events exhibition space in like the whole of East Anglia, where we are down here in England.
County, yep.
And it's in terms of the level of interest for it, it's looking really good at the moment. We have all sorts of things in place should any plans change, of course. But essentially, what we're doing is we're taking our monthly schedule that we do at our cafe of tournaments and community meets and doing it all under one roof over a weekend. Nice. So we have some local gaming communities. For example, we have Nintendo Norwich, of which they're a part of what's called Nintendo Players UK, which are the officially recognised fan group for Nintendo in the UK. And there are Nintendo groups all over the place, I believe. There might even be one somewhere close to you guys. I don't know yet.
There's not one in Glasgow. We chatted about that before.
Well, then you should make one.
I should make one. We were told.
Talk to me. I'm a coordinator. Well, literally, you literally just make it. You can apply and make it. And we have there's a Norwich Retro Gamers Society. There's we have an Amiga and a Norwich Amiga group, and so essentially all of these guys, along with all of the games retailers, are all going to be coming and putting on a big gaming convention where we'll have all sorts of TVs and exhibits, competitions, tournaments, all that kind of stuff. We'll have a stage where we're going to have panels, talk shows. We've got a whole bunch of relatively well-known YouTube stars coming to be featured on there as well. For example, Mr. Stuart Ashens will be here from Ashens fame, who is he's mega famous now because he makes movies and things. We've also got the guys from Did You Know Gaming, which most people will have probably heard of. Nostalgia Nerd, Tristabytes, the Games 24, and lots of smaller, perhaps lesser known to you guys, like local streamers and other local businesses that will be doing things with us as well. But basically, if you like video games and you're anywhere near Norwich, actually, I don't care if you're not near Norwich, buy a ticket and come to Norwich. There's a hotel opposite. Wherever you are, come and see us. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the actual main event as well of Wi-Fi War.
It's okay, I got you covered, John. I got you.
Wi-Fi War is literally the most expensive thing that we've booked. But anyone who has seen Dire O'Brien's Go 8-Bit on Dave,
yes.
Basically they're the guys that are basically the main backers of that. They created the tech for that, and so they go around and they do a show nationally, basically. So we've got them. So hundreds of people can all come and play Pac-Man at the same time at the convention, which will be great. And then, of course, we'll have all of the usual things that you would expect from a community convention. So, refreshments and merch and retro retail will be there as well. Plenty of sales stands, all that kind of stuff as well. Thank you for putting my website on here as well.
It looks great. I love the look of this website, man. It's so
because I
well
didn't
done.
Make it myself. I paid a man a lot of money, and he made the website for me.
You didn't make it in Paint? No,
no. Actually, tell a lie. The actual graphic that you see on there of the Mega Drive pad, the Switch, and the PS1, that particular image I did actually make on Paint.
Nice.
That's Emily's hand on the left and my hand on the right. That was literally done in Paint. And I just sent it to him, and then he tidied it up for me.
I love it.
Indeed. From what I understand as well, there is going to be a certain Glasgow-based entity at OLL 22 as well.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Breaking news, guys. R-CADE are going to be there. Of course. Come on. How could we not?
Yeah, goodness.
There's already rivalries and meetups and stuff sorted out with various regulars from OLL, like Cheney and Vigorous and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. It'll probably be my first trip out of the country since the lockdown. Well, not out of the country, but out of Scotland at least.
Your last trip out of Scotland was down here as well.
I think the last trip out of Scotland was to visit you as well. So yeah, funny that.
Going on tour.
Yeah, R-CADE on tour will be back, our video series. I mean, the last episode was 1 life left. So the only episode was 1 life
a year and a half ago. Oh man, that day I didn't even know they were coming.
Had no idea.
And they literally just turned up. I was like, hang on, you are literally 500 miles away from home. What are you doing in my cafe on a busy Monday? And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, go to our YouTube channel and go drop OLL Games a follow on YouTube as well at the same time while you're at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right, John, moving on. What was the next question?
Yes.
I've totally lost track. Yes, the convention itself, was it always something you wanted to do, or was it just like a natural sort of, it came out of the event space? Because you guys do a lot of events, same as we did.
Yeah, I don't think it was something that I had planned. When I started OLL, it was always intended that it was going to be a games-themed coffee shop, community hub kind of thing. And the plan originally, I mean, I've got my original business plan somewhere on this very computer in front of me, which looks totally nothing like it now. But the idea was that, after a few years, we would then potentially have a second venue, but it would be the exact same thing in a different town. But what perhaps I didn't plan for was how strong and loyal the community side of things would be with the business. So you obviously you had your amazing regular customers, some of which I know have become loyal viewers of yourselves as well.
Indeed, I've stolen a few of them.
Well. Which is great because it all puts us together in this one great community, doesn't it?
Proves the strength.
The events side of thing and the community side of thing, I didn't expect that would be quite so solid as it has become. So I wasn't expecting that we would end up having this regular event schedule in the way that we do, where this Saturday we know it's Nintendo, next Saturday we know it's retro, next Saturday we know it's Smash Bros, next Saturday we know it's going to be the YouTube guys. And having people come to those events regularly allowed us to form such a good relationship with these particular community groups that when we came to thinking, well, what if we just did one massive thing for everyone? Because we don't have the space to do all of our events at once, because we're only a small coffee shop as our physical venue. So we thought, well, why don't we just get a big venue and bring everyone together? And that kind of snowballed in the planning stages during lockdown. And it's like, well, if we're going to do it, why don't we just hire the biggest place we can? And so we looked into what various venues would cost to hire somewhere. And then it became, well, why don't we just do a whole massive convention in the biggest possible space that we can?
You just got the list and went, biggest one, please. Yes, thank you. There you go.
Because the thing is, at the time, is obviously we had quite a lot of time to plan things, because obviously we were in lockdown and that kind of stuff. And obviously, events on the whole, and particularly large events, everything's been cancelled. And so the event location that we were potentially looking at, all the rates were quite cheap to book up. And they were offering, really good rates in terms of the price of hiring for the Friday to the Monday. But at the same time, they were offering all sorts of things like, insurance wise and whatnot, should there happen to be another lockdown or anything like that, we're covered for, things like if we needed to do postponements or any form of like refunds or, reschedules, all that sort of stuff. It was quite a robust package that we managed to get with our particular venue. And with it being, the most well-known venue in the county, it's, it gives you a nice image as well. And then it was a case of running down the road and talking to our friends at Did You Know Gaming in Ashens, because for anyone who doesn't know, Ashens, Did You Know Gaming, and a few other people are based quite locally to us.
Yes,
and basically we're basically the closest coffee shop to where they work. So that was kind of quite fortunate, really, for us. So it was a case of like, guys, why don't you come and spend a day with us and help us grow our communities and whatnot, and they were well up for doing that. So then it became what it is. So really looking forward to it. We're only 4 months away now, and so we're about to kick off our big serious promotional window,
big marketing
now.
thing.
Where the actual marketing pennies are going to get spent now. So we should be seeing things like local news articles and things coming up now, which should be quite cool. And hopefully that will extend into our online space as well. So hopefully everyone will be so sick of it they'll just buy a ticket just to stop their adverts popping up. That's what I'm hoping.
It's like, John, stop talking to me about it. Here, just take my
genuinely, I'm thoroughly excited. It's the biggest thing that OLL has ever done. It's the biggest event that I've ever organised. But then, to be fair, in a previous life, I've done events management and stuff before. It's not like my first time I've run an event. It's all good. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And, the feedback that we've had from our community and, from our potential guests, partners, people such as yourselves, it's all looking quite positive. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Quick question: who's going to be running the cafe while you're away doing this?
So my plan is because the convention's on 15th, 16th of January. Yep. I'm obviously going to be pulling my hair out of. I actually had like an afro a year ago.
It's all that Mario Kart. It's just been pulling it out.
Basically. I look like that guy in WarioWare. Put me off now. So no, the plan is that we will the cafe will run as normal up until probably Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And then I'm going to take a week off between Christmas and New Year just to sort of get my head straight. And then the cafe will remain closed for the 2 weeks before the convention because obviously I've got to transfer all of our consoles and equipment and everything from the cafe because we're all
to the
using
showground,
that, of course. Plus, it's just common sense, really. I think trying to run the cafe at the same time while planning.
You pull yourself too thin.
Would just be mad. And 2 weeks in January after Christmas for a coffee shop, that's literally the 2 quietest weeks of the year. So, we're not a shop. We are effectively a coffee shop, and those lean weeks, it won't make a huge difference for us to be closed. So, and then hopefully the event is a huge success, and then I never have to open ever again. And then I'll just become... and then,
fingers crossed, then.
The plan is then, if assuming the event all runs as intended and whatnot, then we rebook again for 6 months' time, and then we effectively just copy and paste it and do it in a different town around East Anglia.
Well, that was going to be my last question, actually. When are you announcing OLL 23? And when's the Scottish version of OLL convention coming up here?
So there's actually a genuine answer for that.
Really?
Part of our venue contract is we actually have the option for 12 months after the first booking.
Nice.
So watch this space as far as that goes. But the idea is we get the first one done, then we refine it, and then we potentially then simply offer the brand out to event organisers all over the country who might want to run a similar thing. We provide you with a template. So if you want to do OLL Glasgow hosted by R-CADE, then there's an option for that.
I know who to talk to. Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, John, thank you very much for telling us about OLL. I look forward to it. I honestly cannot wait. It's the one thing I'm looking forward to in 2022, almost as much as Horizon Forbidden Wilds. But we always finish out our little interviews with a little quick fire session. So I've got a series of questions for you. I just need you to answer as fast as possible without thinking, okay?
Okay.
No pressure.
Go on.
Okay, John. PS5 or Xbox Series X?
Series X.
Lando Norris or Daniel Ricciardo?
Norris.
Best Wipeout game from the entire series?
29/7.
Nice. You've made a lovely bowl of chips. Which sauce do you use? Ketchup, mayo, HP, or salad cream?
Salad cream.
Ooh. Is it pronounced GIF or Jeff?
GIF.
Nice. Your favorite flavor of crisps? Wow, that was hard to say.
Prawn cocktail.
Ooh. Okay. Last question. You find a wallet on the ground that contains a sizable CEX voucher. Do you keep it, hand it into the police, or burn it?
I'll go and spend it straight away.
You're going to spend it. Nice. Thank you, John. That was it. That was the quick fire question.
I would spend it to give it back to my gaming community through OLL.
Of course,
exactly.
Of course. Get that Atari Jaguar with a copy of Tempest. Yep. Perfect. John, thank you very much. That was our special guest interview with John, and awesome. Let's move on to. Was it this thing? Yeah, it's this thing. Let's go. It's time for. Oh, still got Big John. Sorry, there you go.
It's still me.
It's still Big John. It's still the John Show. Yeah, it's time for yesterday's news. This is the part of the show where I bleat on about retro gaming because I need to keep some retro in here somehow. But I go and trawl through the notable dates in the calendar, and I find something for us to chat about. And it's actually the Nintendo GameCube this week. My favorite console of almost all time. I think I would say so. Yeah. The Nintendo GameCube celebrates its 20th birthday on the 21st of September. That was the Japanese launch, by the by. And so, happy birthday, Nintendo GameCube! Yay! My first question was, have either of you owned a GameCube? I think John's a yes, I think, obviously. Lewis, have you ever owned a GameCube?
No. I know. But,
how dare you?
I was real close with my neighbors, and they had a GameCube.
I'll be right back.
No worries, John.
And they had a GameCube and a child that was the same age as my older brother. So I would play GameCube quite a lot when I was younger. It was like, other than Xbox or PS3, it was Xbox or PlayStation. It was the other console.
Yeah. My favorite console of all time. Just interesting, fun little facts about the GameCube for anybody that didn't know. It was the first Nintendo console to launch without a game featuring Mario. So in the launch window, there was no Mario games. But we did, however, get Luigi's Mansion. So not all bad. We got the superior Mario brother, in my opinion. And Luigi's Mansion's a great game. Fantastic game. It was the first console to have an official, not third party, an official first party wireless controller. The Wavebird, which I had one lying around and it's gone. I'm in my sea of controllers. I can't find one right now, but yeah, the Wavebird was the first wireless controller, official wireless controller. I think I remember having PS2 wireless controllers back in the day, but they were made by Mad Cats or something. It wasn't official PlayStation Sony ones. So yeah, well done Nintendo with the first wireless controller. They were weird. They had a little dongle you had to put into the GameCube, and then it had a little dial. Yeah, exactly.
To match the frequency.
Exactly. They were RF as well. They were radio frequency. Yes, indeed.
I do remember getting my GameCube as well. I got one. Actually imported mine from America because it came out a week after the original Xbox, the American one, and I imported my Xbox from America as well.
Wow.
Which was early mid-November, wasn't it? So 20th of November. Yeah. I remember I had my Xbox and my GameCube on the go at the same time. That was an amazing week.
Wow.
But I think my best memories of GameCube must be it was those Capcom games. Killer 7. They were absolutely on it as far as that goes. And it was really the first party stuff that I felt a bit let down with, to start with. No Mario, Luigi's Mansion was good and that kind of stuff. Sorry, you were carrying on.
I was saying it was later on that we got to see Sunshine. It was quite a while actually after the launch that we got Sunshine and Mario Party and stuff, and then Double Dash wasn't launch either. That was quite a while after.
Yeah,
at least 6 months.
Double Dash did just
so good. Still my favorite Mario Kart as well. Still my favorite Mario Kart. It was the first Nintendo console, of course, to use disc-based media. Everything was cartridges before that. NES, SNES, N64, of course, all cartridges. But it wasn't obviously full-size DVDs. It was the 8cm mini discs, which I think hurt it a lot when it came to sales, going up against the PlayStation and the Xbox, of course.
There was a version that played DVDs, though.
I know I was going to get to that, John, you bastard.
Carry on. I'm dying
to we might as well get it out of the road now, John. There was a DVD version, wasn't there? It was made by another company, though. What was it called?
Oh wow, there was a DVD version.
Is he actually gone? Is he actually gone?
It's like the one thing I've got to go and show. So yes, it's the Panasonic Q GameCube with the mirrored front.
It's so pretty.
It's actually quite wide. It's not a cube.
Not a GameCube's not even a cube. To be fair,
it's got a proper screen on the top with all your DVD and bits and pieces on there. You can't see it, and my camera's terrible. But yeah, it's, the controller ports light up blue. The actual
Blue,
walls
yeah, that's right.
themselves.
Blue LEDs, yeah.
In fact, actually, I can't turn it on, but all the buttons on the side, they will have like light blue, like a blue ring light around them. So it's like blue effect to it. And then on the back, it's got literally every potential input that you would have wanted in 2001. It's got everything all in there.
Yep.
Sorry, it's not a very good picture, but
No,
I believe it is the most gorgeous console ever, and it's my one remaining console from my collection that I didn't ever sort of sell or move on.
It's the one console I want more than any other console, and I haven't been able to get a hold of one yet. So
I can tell it's prized because it is that mirror finish.
It
polished.
Polishes it every day.
You know what? I do genuinely polish it. Every time I do my housework, I do genuinely go over the front of it.
Little microfiber, yeah. Thank you, John, for showing off that.
Sorry, always happy to show it off.
Gorgeous piece of kit. So yeah, the Panasonic Q version was able to play DVDs because it was made by Panasonic. It takes full-size discs as well as GameCube games. Other interesting facts were if you hold down the Z button or Z button on the top of the controller when you start it up, it makes if you hold one controller button down, it makes a laughing baby noise. If you hold all four controllers, if you have friends and they can all hold the buttons as well, because it's really hard to do with two hands, then it makes a different noise as well. It actually makes a different startup noise from what you usually get. I wrote down a couple other facts. Yes, the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, which is getting hard to get a hold of now. Link actually holds his sword in his left hand, whereas in the Wii version, when they released it later on, they flipped it to the right hand. It's just a weird thing. I read somewhere when I was a kid that they flipped the entire game. The entire game was like a mirror mode, because I'd never seen the original one because I couldn't get a copy of it. I thought like the GameCube version of Twilight Princess was literally just the opposite way around, the whole thing. But that turned out to be bollocks. And the GPU in the GameCube was actually capable of stereoscopic 3D, which is where it's built into the screen. It's not the glasses one. But it was capable of doing it, and you could actually play Luigi's Mansion in 3D at launch if you had the right television, which is mad. And you would later see that in the 3DS, of course. So that's Nintendo, as usual, testing out waters and doing weird stuff before they actually release it to the public with their previous consoles and stuff. It's really cool. But happy birthday, Nintendo, GameCube. Sorry, Lewis, you were going to say something else.
I was just going to say, personal fact, it was the first console I ever played Smash on. So.
Well, that was going to be, I was going to round it out, actually. Favorite game on the GameCube from everybody? With John first.
Resident Evil 4.
Yes, solid. Lewis?
Metroid Prime.
Okay. I'm going to have to say Double Dash for me personally, just for pure party fun. So much fun. So
didn't want to steal that one from me.
Soul Calibur 2.
Oh, the Link version of Soul Calibur 2. Yes, that's a shout. Pikmin's actually... Are we getting a new Pikmin? I heard rumours that we're getting a new Pikmin, by the way.
There's been rumours for about a decade, hasn't there?
Yeah, I know, but they resurfaced again. But anyway, happy birthday, GameCube. Happy 20th. 20 years old. That's mad. I still had a T-shirt from when I worked in game, and it said, "Ask me about the GameCube," and it had £99 on the back of it because it was reduced too heavily because it wasn't selling well against the PlayStation and Xbox. So yeah, happy birthday, GameCube. You're the best. Thank you very much. Okay, let's chuck over to our final segment of the night, which is this. So I realised I put the same music as one of my alerts, and I was going to hopefully not get too confused about that, but it's fine. It works out. So it's time for Who Did, Where Did, What Did, Why? This is a segment of the show where we pull up a news story, and it's usually a collaboration between two brands, which you can. I just want to get your opinion on, see what you think about it. Because
the question is why.
Mostly it's just why. But this one is actually coming out of Fortnite, and it was actually about 2 months ago. I think this happened, or I think it was. Yeah, it was about 2 months ago, and it was the Ferrari 296 GTB was added to Fortnite, the Battle Royale shooter. which is a weird thing. I mean, Fortnite gets some really weird stuff, but this was mad. I was like, seriously? Did you either of you know about this before I mentioned it, or were you aware of it happening?
I've seen it in the game at the cafe, and I was like,
okay.
why the hell is there an official Ferrari licensed car in Fortnite? I mean, I get the fact that Ferrari have a new car and they want to advertise it. That's great. And I get the fact that Fortnite is the biggest marketing vehicle worldwide. It doesn't matter what it is. It's got more eyeballs on it than anything else, hasn't it? So I understand the science of that. But two things. If there's one company that is protective of their image,
it's Ferrari.
It's someone like Ferrari.
It's Ferrari.
It's not exactly their target customer base, is it? The average 9-year-old can't afford a Ferrari.
That's my biggest gripe about it as well. Children can't afford cars.
Children can't drive cars.
Not to mention,
buy one.
Not to mention that every single car that Ferrari ever make is completely sold. It's completely pre-ordered and sold out before it's even announced.
Before it even comes out.
Before regular people like you and me hear about it, the regular customers will have already known about it and will have already ordered it, and you can't ever buy one. So they're not advertising a product. It's an advert for the Ferrari brand as a whole. So the only thing that I can think of why they've done it is either their marketing department has just basically followed the spreadsheet that says where's the money in the marketing industry at the moment, and they've just gone with, oh, fine, go with that, whatever the computer says to do. And someone's just made a gigantic cock-up. Or they're actually being smart and they are thinking, hang on a minute, Ferraris, it's always about having that poster on the wall, isn't it?
Yeah. When you were a kid, you were like, that's the unattainable, but I love it.
I had a Ferrari F40 poster on my wall.
Did you have a F40? I was a tSRS5.
tSRS5 first, then F40. Yes. It was the Outrun
That's spoiler.
car.
Yeah.
And games like Outrun. And 10-year-old me, I also couldn't afford a Ferrari, but I had a Ferrari poster on my wall because I liked Ferraris.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the only reason they've done it is because they perhaps maybe in recent years have lost out from that whole kid with a poster on their wall type aspect to their brand. And I'm thinking maybe that's the only reason that they've decided that Fortnite would be the way to go. I would have preferred that they would have just made us give Sega some money and make a new Outrun game. That would have been better.
That would have been
That's
so
what
good.
We should have done. That's what we should have done.
Yes.
I mean, clearly their poster department is suffering, so they just want more sales on their posters. Well,
Sam's made a good point in the chat actually, and it's the toy sales actually. So Hot Wheels obviously would be a good point to try and push the brand out there to get kids to buy Ferrari branded Hot Wheels. So that would be actually this new software lets me do this. Ta-da! Which is really sweet. Fancy as that.
They can buy Hot Wheels.
They can buy Hot Wheels. So yeah, I mean, I can see it, but at the same time, it's a bit mad. And for Ferrari, somebody would have had to. For Fortnite, it's an Epic Games would have had to pay a lot of money to Ferrari to go, can we put your stuff in here? I think there would have been like some sort of big deal there, because they're so protective of their brand,
And if you, on that little trailer that we had there, the model of the Ferrari is really polished. Like,
it's not in the Fortnite style, is it? It is.
No.
That is literally taken out of Forza Motorsport and dropped into Fortnite. It's a full-on sim of the car in terms of the model. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. Like, it's just like a little bit cartoonish, but not at all. It's just
play one more time. There you go. It doesn't fit perfectly. There's also I realized there was also some character model customization as well. So you got some clothes, Ferrari branded clothing within the game as well, which is a weird thing also, because nobody's going to wear that. The kids are all going to wear like stupid, pinata heads and stuff. Not a Ferrari jacket.
If you've got a kid and he's played Fortnite and he doesn't really know much about cars, you've got this kid and he plays Fortnite, whatever, and he goes to a shop with his mum to buy a Hot Wheels car. and he's got an option of a Ferrari that he's seen in Fortnite or a Lamborghini, he'll go for the Ferrari every time. And there you go. That's your next 30 years of a kid thinking a Ferrari is better than a Lamborghini. Basically,
speaking of, I think I was watching Trista Bites, who's going to be at OLL 22, and she was chatting with Jason Bradbury, I think it was, about the new Lamborghini, the reimagining of the Countach, the Lamborghini Countach. So that looks interesting, but that's a whole side thing. I'm not going to get into chatting about that, but I think car brands are starting to sort of click on to branding and getting their names out there properly to the kids again, which is something I remember as a kid seeing Ferrari everywhere, and having like Ferrari hats and jackets and loads of stuff. Huge brand. And then as I've grown up, they've not been there. It's been really weird. Anyway, go pick up your Ferrari, I've forgotten the model again. The 296 GTB in Fortnite now.
Definitely sounds like a hard drive.
The 296 GTB. Is it gigabytes or terabytes? I don't know. Let's just put both letters in there. Gigaterabyte. Gigaterabyte, yeah. The 296 gigaterabyte. You can probably install maybe 3 games on that.
Yeah,
and then you'll have to upgrade your hard drive space.
Came out alongside the announcement from PlayStation.
Perfect. Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you very much, John, for joining us. Where can everyone find you, just very quickly before we scoot off?
You can find us on your social media of choice, really. We're on them all. If you're watching on Twitch, we are OLL_games. If you are on YouTube, it's OLL Games without an underscore. And then we are OLL_gaming on Instagram and Twitter, and OLL Games with no spaces on Facebook. You can also find us on Patreon and also on Discord. But if you just go to any of our channels, you'll see the links for everything.
Links between all of the links. Yeah, perfect. Right, Lewis, thank you for hosting with me tonight. We'll be back next week. I've got the lovely Akira Direwolf joining us next week for the Super Arcade Show, and I will be joined by Nadia, I believe, as well. So tune in next Thursday at 7 o'clock for that. You can catch this show again if you missed the start or any of it on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Arcade Glasgow. Or if you're the kind of person who doesn't like using their eyes and only their ears, then go find us on Spotify. Just chuck it in the search bar of the Super Arcade Show and you'll find the episode there tomorrow morning. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute joy. I'm going to chuck you guys over to Jack. Actually, I think Jack's still playing Resi 7, so I'm going to chuck you guys over there, and you can enjoy some of that. Anything else you guys want to add before we go? Any last little bits?
I would just like to quickly say that if anyone here is wanting to watch the film club tonight, which is The Fifth Element, it'll be starting in half an hour in our Discord. John, anything?
Just to say thank you so much. No, my parcel hasn't arrived yet. Sorry to say. I'm sure it will come tomorrow. But yeah, just thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and spend some time with you guys, really. And if I could make one request.
Yes, John.
If anyone does go to just go and watch Jack on our channel on Resident Evil, just really freak him out. Could everyone just write in the chat, Jack, you have butterfingers? He'll know what it means.
I'm sure that comes in handy.
Basically, what it is a couple of years ago, Jack dropped a glass cake dough where we keep our
I've seen the video of this.
And I made him sit down wearing oven gloves and say that he had butterfingers 100 times, and I put it on our YouTube channel. It was our best performing YouTube video we'd ever done. So yeah, the rage face is Jack, you have butterfingers. He'll know what it's all about, I'm sure.
Gotcha.
I'd
Thank you, John.
I've enjoyed this race myself now to watch it. Thank you very much for having me.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Guys, I'll see you next time. Join Lewis tonight for Film Club, and I will be back online on Monday, I think, is my next stream. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember anything. So, Jack, you have butterfingers. Everyone have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
welcome to the Super Arcade.